much time, I would like you to drop an emoji if you can hear me, just any emoji at all. And if you heard me very well, just drop an AVC in the chat room. And I see, okay, I'm seeing thumbs up, I'm seeing hearts, I'm seeing so many things. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So I would like for you to drop AVC. Okay, Moby has dropped AVC. If you know what AVC means already, can you just write that in the comment section? If you know what AVC means, can you just write that? Thank you very much. I can see Lawal. Okay. Yes, thank you so much. Much more people are getting engaged. Oh, fantastic. Thank you very much. Somebody has gotten the answer, but I'm not going to read it. I want to wait and see. Oh, they're coming in. They're coming in. Thank you very much. Thank you. So let's go right into it. I'm not alone today. We have speakers, as you have seen during the advertisement. We have two very good people who we have brought on board who will have anchor this session together with me. So on the panel today, we have speakers Peter Mold, and we also have Gloria. So just give me a little time to talk about these speakers. Just give me 30 seconds each. So for Peter, who is our first speaker, Peter is a highly experienced pension benefits administration expert with 13 years at Leadway Pension PFA. He currently leads the retirement benefits and equity contributions review and processing units. He ensures accuracy and efficiency in pension administration. He has a sharp eye for detail and a commitment to excellence. Peter plays a very key role in optimizing processes that directly impacts retirees. We're excited to have him share his insights with us here today. Welcome, Peter.
Thank you, Raina.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. So the next speaker we have here is Gloria Daniels. She's a seasoned customer relationship manager with over 15 years of experience in sales, client relations, and wealth management. At Leadway Pension PFA here, she plays a very crucial role in bridging the high net worth clients units and the client services team, driving business growth and fostering lasting client relationships. She's very passionate about delivering top-tier, top-notch customer experiences. Gloria thrives on building strategic partnerships that ensure long-term success. And we're delighted to have you with us today, Gloria. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Rainatu.
All right. So you can see, I mean, from their profile, you know that someone is saying you can't hear me. Okay, sorry, that might probably be your network. Do you want to log out and log in again? Sorry about that. Okay, all right. So the topic for today, as you also saw advertised, is beyond the paycheck, winning strategies to boost your savings. And in this case, using your retirement savings account. In using your retirement savings, there are various avenues, but one of the avenues we are going to concentrate on today is AVC. AVC, you have rightly answered in the comment section, additional voluntary contribution. Today we'll be looking at what is additional voluntary contribution, how does it work, what are the benefits, what's the value in it for you, why should you do that. We'll be listening to a few case studies about people who have enjoyed the use of or the benefits that come from using or doing additional voluntary contribution. So without wasting so much of your time, I would like to go straight into it. We'll start by addressing, the definition. We'll start by the definition itself. So Peter, we would like to start with you this afternoon. Peter, can you tell us what additional voluntary contribution is and how it works, please?
Thank you, Raina. Good afternoon, everyone. It's really exciting to be here. I'm excited. So, additional voluntary contribution simply means that non-mandatory contribution made by employees in addition to the mandatory contributions to retirement savings account through the employer towards enhancing pension benefits and future contingency use while still in active service. Simply put, AVC is that amount from salary that you as an individual or employee choose to save or invest along with the mandatory contributions in your retirement savings account for future benefits. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Peter. I hear you. additional voluntary contribution. You have given us what definition is, and I hear you say it's voluntary. It is not mandatory. Okay, thank you very much. So to add to that, Gloria, if you would have anything to add to that, I would like for you to answer this question while you have an addition, you put that together. How can one start doing additional voluntary contribution?
All right.
Gloria, this question
Good
is for you.
afternoon. Yes, thank you,
Good
Rainatu.
afternoon.
Good afternoon once again, everyone. I'm so happy to be here and sharing knowledge with everyone. Now, as Peter has rightly said, additional voluntary contribution, just as the name implies, is just an additional voluntary contribution that you can make into your retirement savings account in addition to the mandatory contribution that you make on a monthly basis. Now, the mandatory contribution that is made from source, that's from your employer. So the employer does the deductions, the statutory pension of 18%, the statutory 10% from your employer, and then 8% from the employee. Now, that is done from source. Now, if you decide that you want to start additional voluntary contribution, it would also be done from source. So all the employee would need to do is to inform the employer, whether through the HR people or the finance team, to say that, oh, I would like to do this certain amount as additional voluntary contribution, and when you would like to start it and how much you would like to start with. Now, with Leadway, we've gone a step further to have like a commitment form, which we share with our customers, and they share that with their HR people or with their finance people. It's just a form, it's more or less like a commitment to show that, yes, I'm ready to start this. This is when I want to start. This is the amount I want to start with. So as to commit you, because we've seen a lot of people have in mind that I would like to start this, but sometimes you procrastinate or you forget and you do not follow through. So what we do as relationship managers or account officers is that we also help our customers to get them to commit to this, and then also follow through to ensure that the payment starts when they want to start it. So one can start by sending instruction to their HR team or finance to say, oh, this is what I want to start with. This, I want to start additional voluntary contribution. Or you can fill out the form that we usually send to our customers, share with your HR team or finance, and also put your account or relationship officer in copy, and then we follow through to ensure that payment commences. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gloria. We have heard the how can and how to. Okay. All right. So we're really now digging deep into the meat of it. If you have questions, please, I would encourage that you please drop your questions in the chat room. We have able hands from our customer experience department and the customer relationship management department who are on hand to answer your questions. If you want the question aired for the benefit of others, we would also take that question as we move along. Thank you very much. So my next question is for you, Peter. Peter, how can someone determine how much extra they should contribute to their pension in terms of AVC?
Yes, thank you once again. Well, the Nigerian labor law does not permit deduction beyond 1/3 of your monthly salary in order for you as an individual to be able to cater to your financial and family financial needs. So as much as possible within the limit of the 1/3 of your monthly salary can be committed to your retirement savings account, additional voluntary contribution, in the liable limits of 1/3 up to 1/3 of your monthly salary. Then
thank you very much.
They also omit other, pay elements that are not on your pay slip, like profit share, other payments that are not on your monthly pay slip, performance bonuses, any kind of bonus that you may want to invest for future use, and then for retirement benefit, for enhanced retirement benefit. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. That was very concise. We have understood that part to be, it can be any amount. However, it is guided by, it cannot go beyond 1/3, right? If you know you have been making contributions already that is within the 33.3, then whatever it is that you want to add as additional voluntary contribution cannot exceed that amount. Thank you very much. So Peter, my next question is still within your purview. Please, are there any tax advantages or tax incentives for making AVCs? Okay, this question is for you, and then I'll need Gloria to
sure.
add something to it.
Sure. There is tax incentive for making additional voluntary contribution. The amount you choose to save in your retirement savings account as AVC is tax exempt. That is, that helps you to an extent to avoid tax, thereby reducing your tax liabilities. So tax, is now applicable to the remaining amount payable to you after deduction of the amount of your salary that you want to commit to additional voluntary contribution.
Thank you very much. I have a question for you, Gloria. While you add something there,
Okay.
I would like to ask you, how long do I have to do AVC before I can begin to access it? Do I have to wait until retirement before I can access my benefits, or can I access it sometime? If I can, when and how much of it can I access? Can you answer that question?
Okay, so thank you, Rainatu. How long can you now? AVC is a product that we usually enlighten customers to say that okay, you can access this contribution at any time. Now there's a statutory guideline surrounding additional voluntary contribution that you can access once a year funds that have met eligibility, that are eligible to be withdrawn. Now you can access your funds once you have started it, as long as the fund has stayed for over a year, because it must have stayed. Each fund that you have been contributing as additional voluntary contribution must have stayed at least a year in your retirement savings account for you to be eligible to withdraw. And what you can withdraw is 50% of what is eligible, while the remaining 50% is locked down in your account, because really additional voluntary contribution is actually to increase the value of your pension at retirement, and for you to boost your account so that what you're getting in terms of, because at retirement you're going to get a lump sum, and then the balance of your pension, what you have after you have been paid your lump sum, will be spread as pension. So you're going to be getting more if you are doing additional voluntary contribution. So you can actually access your AVC if after you've been doing it for a while, you can access the contributions that have stayed in your accounts for over a year, but you'll be able to access only 50% of what is eligible, while the balance of 50 is locked down in your account for retirement.
Thank you very much, Gloria. So I hear there are T's and C's. Terms and conditions apply, okay, in terms of accessing your contributions so far in AVC. However, it doesn't mean you can't access at all. You can access.
Yes,
Peter, while you're going to make an addition there too, there's a question I have for you. Are there any new regulations on AVC by PENCOM, that is the Pension Commission, that our audience needs to know about?
Thank you, Ryan. Yeah. Recently, there was a circular AVC. Like Gloria rightly said, contributions that have stayed in your RSA, that's the AVC contributions that have stayed in the RSA for 12 months at the minimum, are eligible for withdrawal if the approved return on investment at the period. This just became 1 year recently. It used to be 2 years interval. Yes. And when you withdraw, the next time you get to withdraw is also 1 year. For non-mandatory participants, like the exempted participants, before now, they could only get to access the voluntary contributions when they leave a new job. But now, while in active service, they can still get to access up to 50% of the remittances, voluntary contribution remittances, even before they leave the employment. So, due to these recent changes, additional voluntary contribution has become more attractive, more flexible, and then yes, you can take advantage of that too. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Peter. So I'm seeing a lot of questions in the chat box. You're going to get responses to them shortly if it has not been addressed during the course of this session. So I'll crave your indulgence. So please just let us go ahead. Questions to be answered as we speak, and then at the same time, we'll take these questions. Some of these ones that are unanswered, we'll take them at the end of the lecture. All right. So Gloria, my next question goes to you. We want to know the why. There are a lot of business owners that have tied in here today. We also have HR personnel, we have professionals, we have an array of people who have logged in, who have tied into this session today. I would like for you to tell us, why should these people, as business owners, as employers, why should they consider AVC as part of a retirement strategy for their employees? And I mean, how can they encourage these employees to take advantage of AVC?
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for that question, Rainatu. It's so many benefits, so many benefits. Why employers, HR professionals, and the business people, there's actually a retirement savings account plan for people who are business owners, even for people who are in the informal sector. We call the micro pension. There's a retirement savings plan for everyone, because we need to begin to look at our future retirement when we're no more as young as we are, and we're getting to that age, retirement age. You have to have a plan. And the retirement savings account is one of those many plans that we have got to have. And then you now have the additional voluntary contribution. Just like the mandatory contribution encourages for savings culture, so does AVC, additional voluntary contribution. It encourages people to save, because you have to begin to imbibe that savings culture into our children, into ourselves, that we begin to save for our future. And then Peter earlier mentioned the tax exempt that you enjoy, the tax relief that is enjoyed on AVC. You get that because usually when you have pension deductions, they're usually deducted before the personal income tax is implied on
Applied.
applied. Thank you. Applied on employee salaries. So additional voluntary contribution is also deducted alongside the pension before tax, and so that's the tax relief that you get. And then remember the contributions that are being made. Your pension fund administrator, we have fund managers, we're investing the funds for you. So at the end of the day, you're not just getting what you have saved, you also have return on investments on what you have saved. And that is the same returns you're going to get on additional voluntary contribution, because it's going to earn you the same returns that you are getting as well. And then at retirement, we've said that additional voluntary contribution, yes, it's a savings project that you can use for different kinds of savings projects. You can decide to begin to save for an educational fund, for anything you want to do. And then even we've gone a step further to say that you can do additional voluntary contribution to boost your account, to boost your retirement savings account at retirement, so that what you're going to get at retirement will be more. And then also for recently, the National Pension Commission, not too recent, came up with a residential mortgage where people can actually access a maximum of 25% of what they have in their retirement savings account as equity contribution for mortgage purposes to buy a property. So for some people, they probably feel like, oh, what do I have in my account? How will I be able to buy that dream house that I want to buy in Banana Island? There's a house you're eyeing somewhere. So additional voluntary contribution can help to augment what you are currently contributing, so that you'll be able to access that 25% for residential mortgage purposes. So additional voluntary comes with so many benefits. So many benefits, and that's why everyone has got to key into it, have got to decide and make up their mind that I would like to do additional voluntary contribution. So how can employees, HR people, get their employees to take advantage? It's just to educate their employees, to educate their employees on how to take advantage on additional voluntary contribution. Well, for us in Leadway, we hold forums, financial awareness sessions where we enlighten staff of different organizations, enlighten the public on different kinds of products, which additional voluntary contribution is one of the many products that we have that you can boost your savings. Now we can have the HR people organize these forums so that the experts can come and speak and enlighten their staff on why they should do additional voluntary contribution. And then we also have different kinds of write-ups on additional voluntary contribution that can be shared with HR people or with organizations, so can also share with their employees, and they are more enlightened on why they should do additional voluntary contribution. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you very much, Gloria. I was taking notes. I hope we all were. I was taking notes. I was making notes. I know, but I'm adding more. I'm adding more to what I know, and I'm taking in bullet points of what it is that I need to do if I need to increase what I am doing in additional voluntary contribution. I hope you were taking notes as well. All right. So we have heard a lot. We've heard various ways that additional voluntary contribution can come in very handy to boost our our savings and grow our wealth at the end of the day. Honestly speaking, we have what we call the Shorcal. We call it the Shorcal. It's a calculator that we use to simulate. That's in Leadway Pension. We have a calculator we call the Shorcal that we use to simulate a certain life. If you have a lifestyle that you are living now and you want to either sustain it, you want to maintain it, or you want to live a certain kind of lifestyle at retirement, what do you need to do now? You have looked at your account balance and you have seen that this is what comes in and this is what the value of your RSA is. Can you do something to change it? Can the balance sustain you if 50% is paid to you as monthly pensions every month? Can it sustain you? If not, if you go and simulate using our Shorcal, the pension calculator, it would help you to be able to plug in figures and see working towards a desired lifestyle at retirement. What do you need to do now? I tell you that additional voluntary contribution is one of the avenues you can use, is one of the vehicles you can use to boost your balance at retirement, thereby enabling you to be able to live that life that you want at retirement. All right, so moving on. So I'm telling you that we will share the link of our lifestyle calculator, and you might want to try to plug in, just play with it a little, toggle with it and see if it would benefit you, and then you might want to consider additional voluntary contribution. All right, so we can see your questions, and I think answers are being dropped as we speak. More and more questions, please keep dropping them. We have also dropped a Google form. On it, we're just taking a little very brief survey of this engagement today and what more you need from us, such that we can improve and also get back to you with something better. I told you this is just one of the series that we have coming across to you very shortly. All right, so my next question also still goes to Gloria, but I think, Gloria, before we go on to your question, I would like to go into the chat place and see if we'll take just one question, although this has already been answered. But Peter, I would like for you to maybe look at this. Madam Ifeyinwa Amechi says, what are the conditions around withdrawal? What are the conditions around withdrawal for AVC?
Okay, thank you. So, like I mentioned earlier, for each additional voluntary contribution you make into your RSA, the contribution is divided into two. So, say in your RSA, one portion is the fixed portion, the other portion is the contingency portion or the contingent portion. You are eligible to access from contributions that have stayed in your account in your RSA form up to 1 year, you are eligible to access the contingent portion, the investment returns that have accrued to each contribution over the period. So 40% of your contribution for a particular period, those that have stayed for 1 year plus the return on investment accessible, and you can do that withdrawal at 1 year interval, timelines. And then the good thing about it is the return on investment, though taxable, in line with the payee tax regime, also, is a benefit for you that can be used to meet some financial emergencies, like financing a project, planning a vacation, help you achieve some things that may come up unexpectedly. That's the beauty of it. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. There are also questions from Jerry Dalla David, and I think some of the questions have already been answered, but I'll just read them out here, just in case if any of this is not answered, you can just repeat it or draw attention to it. The first question is, I noticed that my usual monthly deposit from my employer dropped most especially in last month. That's January this year, and I don't know why. Okay, so we'll answer that question personally. If you can add that when you're filling your Google form, we'll address that personally because it's not so we don't take too much time, please. All right, so your next question is, can I withdraw from my savings in terms of any emergency, or it has to be after my retirement? As long as the contribution is AVC, yes. If you listen to what Peter just said now, you can access a part of it that has stayed at least up to 1 year. You can access 50% of what has been contributed so far. Otherwise, if it is your regular contributory pension, then you would have to wait until you're out of employment. All right. So I think he says, okay, so what does AVC stand for? Can somebody please help me type in the chat box what AVC stands for? What is AVC? We have talked about it. We started with it, but I understand he said joined in late. So I just want someone who is following. Just tell us what AVC means if you know. Can you just type it there before I call it out? Go in. Yes, so somebody has responded. AVC means additional voluntary contribution. All right. Okay, thank you very much. So we'll take more questions. If they haven't been answered, we'll take more questions as we go along. However, right now, we'll just go back to the speakers. Gloria, my next question is for you. Do we have any real life stories or experiences of people who have used AVC and have enjoyed it, have benefited from it, have gained the value from it? Can you relate any one or two of these experiences or these stories so that we can all benefit and see more raising?
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that question, Rainatu. I'm a customer relationship manager, and I relate with so many different kinds of customers. And I've had so many of them who have success stories on additional voluntary contribution. I wish we had so much time we could take so many of the stories, but I just narrow it down to like 3 and even include myself into the story. So I've had a customer who retired. She retired, I think that was like 7-8 years ago. And before she retired, she was actually doing additional voluntary contribution because she said that, she wanted to maintain a certain lifestyle that she had already, she was already living. So she didn't want that lifestyle to drop. So she was augmenting the mandatory contribution she was making with additional voluntary. And when she retired, she got, the lump sum that she got and her pension that she was going to be receiving. She was amazed. She was really happy. She was really, really happy because she said to me, Gloria, I'm going to maintain my baby girl lifestyle. Yes. So we want that people maintain that lifestyle that they already have, at retirement. And then I had another customer who was doing additional voluntary contribution, and she recently accessed 25% for the residential mortgage, and she included her additional voluntary contribution. It added to what she was going to get. She was really happy. She's bought her house. She's already living in her house with her family. She's so happy. And she's so happy. And so that's we're encouraging customers that please take advantage. Some people feel that, oh, I can never meet up. I can never be able to buy that dream house that I have. I keep mentioning it, that dream, because me too, I have a dream to buy a house in Banana Island, in Parkview
Yes,
Estate,
yes,
in
yes,
Ikoyi.
yes.
Yes. So I have that. I have a particular house I'm eyeing. So I have to. So we are encouraging customers. You can actually get that dream house. Start by adding something to what you're doing right now. Like Rainatu mentioned earlier, we have our lifestyle calculator. You can use it. It will be shared. The link will be shared for you to be able to do those simulations. You need to ask yourself certain questions. What you are contributing now, is it going to be enough? Is it going to be enough for when you retire? The lifestyle that you have now, will you be able to maintain it as retirement? Your cost of living, your standard of living, you need to put all those things. You need to ask yourself all those questions. You need to begin to make certain retirement goals. So this just to speak to why people should also begin to put into make those considerations. And then I also had a customer. This one really touches my heart because the customer was so close to me. He had a son who had a dental problem and needed to have a surgery done out of the country. And then he started, I mentioned to him additional voluntary contribution that maybe you can, because you can use that as a savings target towards your son's surgery. And he started it, and he was able to access that and take the son out of the country to do the surgery. It was such a success. He was so happy. I'm so in contact with him. He has actually retired now, but still, we're still in contact. He's become family, and his son is doing so well. And then finally, my own story too. So we wouldn't sell what we do not believe in. We wouldn't sell to you what we are not partaking in. No, we won't do that. I have accessed AVC on several grounds for several things. I've accessed my additional voluntary contribution to add up to pay my children's school fees, for trips that I have gone, to buy my tickets to do trips that I have done. So I also have my own personal experience with additional voluntary contribution. So there are so many, but these are the ones that I can just share with you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Gloria. Thank you. I'm sure if we say we should unmute and tell our stories, there will be a couple of stories about AVC, the benefits that we have garnered from, doing additional voluntary contribution. However, we do not have the luxury of all of that time. We have more questions. We have ground we would like to cover on AVC. So I have another question. I think this one I'll direct it to Peter. Peter, what are some common mistakes that people make when planning their retirement savings, and then how can they avoid them?
Yeah, thank you so much. One of the mistakes that people make, one is failure to plan. Failure to plan, and a lot of people also uh, dwell on assumptions. Many, I mean, from experience, we've seen people at retirement walk into, our office to access their retirement benefit. And then at that point, they begin to tell you, oh, I need this money. I must get certain amount of lump sum so that I can complete my ongoing project. That shows that that person didn't really plan. And then he or she assumed, based on the things they hear around, oh, once you have a retirement savings account, you can access up to 50% lump sum, forgetting that or not knowing that the benefit, so to speak, would be committed to a computation, a calculator that will compute what any participant would get as a lump sum benefit and then the periodic pension. So largely failure to plan and procrastination, like we've been saying, AVC, the best time to start saving or investing in your RSA in the form of AVC is now. Many people procrastinate. I can start next week, I'll start next month, I'll start next year. Before you know it, retirement is knocking
Yes.
at your door. And yeah, the fact remains that the more money you have at any point in time, the better for you. There is a time in a man's life that is beyond the paycheck era. And then what becomes of you, what do you bank on? What do you rely on? Is it just the mandatory remittances, the 18% that you have saved over the period, that may not even be enough to sustain the life you're already used to. So mistakes generally, procrastination, assumption, failure to plan. And that has
Thank
led
you.
to disappointment, regret, aggression. You see people desperate, going all the way to use legal means to, and at the end of the day, the law is the law. So people should stop making that
Thank you
mistake,
very much.
come to the reality
Thank
and
you
save
very
up.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Peter. Thank you very much.
Yes.
A very serious awakening. Thank you very much. Okay, so I mean, I also see that there are misconceptions about how AVC is, and there are a lot of people who feel this is how it should be, or this is how it used to be. Why did it change and all of that? Because I mean, when we're in the field, you hear a lot of people talking about AVC. AVC used to be good because I could put my money and access everything, but now it has become difficult. Oh, it doesn't even make sense because at the time, oh,
Yeah.
it's hard to collect. Oh, you can't collect it at all. What are the what are some of these misconceptions, and what are things we have done to mitigate them, or how can we mitigate these misconceptions? Gloria, I would like for you to just say what on that.
Okay. All right, Hadia. All right, Raina too. Thank you for that question. So yes, ABC has evolved over time. At the time when when the pension scheme started, people could actually put in their put in uh, performance bonuses, profit shares as additional voluntary contribution, and the next week can even come and withdraw it because at that time ABC was the tax would be mentored on the returns that wasn't on the capital. So on the returns that was made, that was what the tax was based on, and so people were taking advantage of that. But because of that, will I say the government now came up with the new
The
guidelines or the
commission.
regulatory the commission came up
Yeah.
with the new guidelines, yes, to say that, okay, this is how it's going to go. People can access 50% of what had stayed. At the time, before this new guideline of 1 year, it was 2 years. So people now looked at it that, oh, that means I can't still continue to put in my profit share and come and have access to it. But we still encourage people, and like we've been saying through the course of the discussion, that you can still put in such funds, your profit share, your performance bonuses, into your retirement savings account as additional voluntary contribution, and then look at the long run. Look at the long run. That at the long run, when I want to access my funds on the ground of retirement. And then you can even access, you can still get 50% of what you have put in after, right now is a year, but you can still get 50% while the balance is kept in your account to boost your account for retirement. So people should not begin to feel that, oh, ABC has changed. I can't put in my money anymore and then get it out when I want to. No, you still get that tax relief that you wanted to get from the onset, because I know that people wanted that tax relief at the onset. But you can still, you're also encouraging yourself to save. You're also going to get 50% of that fund that you put, that contribution that you put in your account. And then at the end of the day, when you retire, it's still going to boost to for you to get that kind of lump sum and pension that you want to get at retirement.
Thank you very much, Gloria. Thank you very much. The answer stood out. It was clear. All right. So we understand that people just have assumptions without trying, maybe based on
Yes.
stories of how people have tried to access their AVC and maybe the challenges based on regulation that they have experienced. Okay. But we know that AVC is good. The idea about AVC is actually long term. AVC is actually, if you look at it based on what has been discussed today, is something to augment your pensions, your funds at retirement. That is the whole idea. However, some people have chosen for it to, have a project in mind and do AVC contribution because we understand the returns
Yes.
that come with AVC, right? So you decide to have a project in mind, but it's good that you understand how much you can access, when you can access, and at what point is it tax free. Okay, so if you have that in mind and you understand the longevity of the tenor for investments in AVC, then you also understand how to really key in and gain the value that is in it. All right, so Peter, as we're winding down, my next question is for you. What happens to someone who has AVC but changes job or relocates? Does anything happen to their AVC?
Yes, when you change jobs, you can continue to make the additional voluntary contribution. Job switch cannot, deny you the benefit, the opportunity of accessing the eligible portion. That's the contingency portion of your voluntary contributions while you are still in active service whenever the need arises. It will also be beneficial to you in retirement as well. So job switch will not affect you in any way. It will not affect your voluntary contribution in any way. As long as you choose to continue or discontinue, you enjoy the benefit as has been, clearly specified. Then when you relocate, the same also applies. It's better, for your own good, where the new employer overseas, also has a home office in Nigeria, and they are willing to still continue to make voluntary contributions, into your RSA, for the fact that you are no longer working within the borders of Nigeria. You are now overseas. You can continue your Nigerian office so long as they're able to make remittances in Naira denomination on your behalf to your RSA. Then if it happens that your new employer cannot continue to fund your retirement savings account, yes, you still enjoy the benefits as has been specified, as well as in retirement. It's just that you may not be able to continue to fund the account for obvious reasons. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Peter. There's a question I would like to just address very quickly. Somebody asked, can this contribution be done from individuals' accounts just in case the employer is not interested? Unfortunately, all contributions that has to come into your retirement savings account, whatever kind of contribution at all, must be done by your employer. All right, so whether the employer is not agreeing or is not interested, you can bring us in here so we can have a conversation with the employer and probably try some enlightenment, okay, and maybe show them what the policy says. So we will be glad to do that. If you just give us a hint while you're filling your Google form, we can address that. All right, thank you very much, Peter, for your response on the last question. I have another question for Gloria. Gloria, how can AVC impact my pension fund at retirement? At the end of the day, all said and done, this AVC I've been doing, how can it impact my retirement savings balance?
Oh Lord. So thank you. Very wonderful question. Now we've said that AVC is more to boost your accounts. It's more of a long-term thing so that at retirement, you're going to get more in terms of what you're going to get as a lump sum and then what you're going to be getting as pension. Remember, the accounts, the savings you're doing is into your retirement savings account, which is meant for retirement. Now, at retirement, when you retire, when you're no more in active service, that is retirement. Because I keep getting questions from people, and people say that, well, I hear that when I'm 50, I can come and access what I have in my pension account. I don't know where they heard that, but you're still working. And you don't want that, but you're still working now. You haven't retired. Retirement is that you're no more in active service. You have stopped working. So if once you retire, and according to the Pension Reform Act, the PRA, from 2014. It was revised in 2014. It states that retirement age has been pegged at age 50 or whatever is the retirement age where you work, whichever comes later. So once you are 50 and you're no more in active service, you can begin to access your fund in your account on the grounds of retirement. Now, based on certain factors, based on how much you have in your retirement savings account, based on your age at which you're retiring, because people are going to retire at different ages. Some people will retire at 50, some 60, and some, some beyond as well. So if based on your age, your retirement savings account balance, and then also based on what you were earning at the time when you retire, which when you retire, then we're going to ask you for your pay slip. The pay slip is for us to be able to have your what made up for your pension contributions that are being deducted on a monthly basis, which is your emolument, and that's made up of your basic housing and transportation. Now, all these things are considered and imputed. There's a pension template, a pension calculator that determines how much you get as a lump sum. Now, that template will determine what you will get as a lump sum, while the balance is spread as pension, depending on whichever pension product that you decide to go with at retirement. So we have two pension products, but I don't want to just dive into that because that's another discussion. You're right. So we have annuity and the program withdrawal. Now, based on those factors that we mentioned, and based on those factors, the template determines what you get as your lump sum and then as pension. Now, if we're doing additional voluntary contribution, it will add to what you're going to get as the lump sum and also as pension that will be spread over time for you. So some people who are doing additional voluntary contribution can actually decide that, okay, my additional voluntary contribution, I'd like to access that separately, or you may want to have it consolidated with what you have been contributing, the mandatory contribution. So either way, you're going to be getting more. You're going to be getting more in terms of if you're going to have just access your additional voluntary contribution alone, you're going to get, you would get 50% of whatever, is that you had contributed. And if you wanted it consolidated with what you have been contributing, your mandatory contribution with the total balance of what you have, you're also going to get more in terms of what you get as a lump sum and as the pension that you'll be getting on a monthly or quarterly basis. You will decide that.
Okay. Thank you very much,
you.
Gloria.
Thank you,
I would
right?
like for Peter to, yes, I would like Peter to add something there as well. Peter, please, can we hear you say something in addition to what Gloria has said?
Okay, I just like to throw a few technical perspectives to all that Gloria just said. Typically, most retirees don't get to access more than 25%, lump sum benefit from the RSA at retirement. It's mainly because where the accumulated savings, that's the pension savings, and the accrued investment income was just based on the 18% pension contribution made over the work life. It's usually not sufficient to fund the expected minimum pension, as provided by the Pension Reforms Act 2014 and the extant guidelines and regulations, which requires that pension is the first consideration when you're accessing retirement benefits. And then the expectation normally is that you should earn up to at least 50% of your last salary at the point of retirement. Whatever is left as residual balance is what you get to access as lump sum. Even if it's more than 50% or more, the residual balance paid to you lump sum. So the thing is, we observed over time that without making extra, except for some organizations that permit more, pay more than 18% as pension remittances in favor of their employees, it's hard to even get up to 50% of your last salary, from the accumulated fund balance at retirement. So if this is that opportunity that you have to boost your savings, so that if you start early enough, the RSA balance can be boosted, fund up to 50% of your last salary, and the desirable lump sum amount that can be up to and even above 50% lump sum mark that everybody, yearns to achieve at the end of the day. Remember, the more savings you have, the better the life you get to live. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Peter. Thank you very much for capping that all up. So I hear you, and I also will understand it's compound interest. The more you have, the more you
Yes.
gain. The more you have, the
Yes.
more you gain. So if
Yes.
whatever it is that is coming into your account is being invested, it is the principal and the interest that is being reinvested. Now imagine that you have additional voluntary contribution adding on to all of this. The additional
Mhm.
contribution itself coming in as a principal, the interest that is gathering from it. So everything just adds up. Okay, so you can understand why additional voluntary contribution is fantastic. It's a good vehicle that we want to just, jump on and get moving, such that at retirement, we know that we have so much shored up and so much has grown. Okay, and then it helps us to live a certain life that is tolerable, that is good, that is also enjoyable. All right. So rounding up, I would like to say that thank you for getting your attention up to this point. Thank you very much. We have seen a lot of questions. The questions are being answered. If your question hasn't been answered, we will still answer it. While you fill your the forms, we expect that you can't just indicate that you had a question that was not answered. We will ensure every question is being attended to. So please fill the form so that we can get your detail and then respond to you. Um, we also have, I just want to use this opportunity to talk about the different digital channels that we have that you can reach us on. We have a chat bot. We call her Lisa. Lisa stands for Leadway Instant Service Assistant. It's powered on WhatsApp. Okay. So Lisa is there before you look for Gloria, before you look for Peter, before you look for Irahina too, you have Lisa to attend to you. Lisa has an array of things that Lisa can do for you, from getting your statement to getting a cover letter to the embassy, getting your PIN, getting your balance, getting performance on your phone and things like that. All of that you can get from Lisa. We have so much on the menu, up to 18 different items. A cover letter to the embassy, whatever embassy you want in this country, you can get that, and it is spot on, online, real time. Okay, so I would encourage you to use our chat. But we also have a mobile app that is also very very fantastic. That's the word. It's very good, also very prompt, and it gives you your details. Very user friendly, I might add.
Exactly.
Okay, so you might want to also download our mobile app. You can chat us on any of our social media handles at Leadway Pensure, on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and all of those other social media handles. Please, you can reach out to us. If there is something that needs attention, we will attend to you immediately on any of those channels. All right. So, like I said, the questions are going to be answered. As we are rounding up, we're actually closing now. I would like to hear from our different speakers. Just one takeaway, if you want, just one thing you would like that your listeners today, our customers, our highly prized customers, take home from your conversations today. I would start with you, Gloria. Just something very simple. Take home.
Okay. I also wanted to add, right now, to our customers can also reach out to us, whatever concerns that they have or inquiries or clarifications. Just send a mail to client services at leadway-pensure.com, and we would answer whatever questions you have, or if there are clarifications, whatever concerns, they will be attended to. One thing that I would want our customers to take home is that do not underestimate retirement expenses. Some people think that, I'm sorry, I will talk because it won't just be a line, but some people think that at retirement I will fall back on my children. The children of now, you have got to have a plan. So please do not underestimate your retirement expenses. You have got to set clear retirement goals. Do not procrastinate. Do it now. Do it now. Now send that mail to your HR, to your finance. I want to do additional voluntary contribution. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gloria. So, can we have can we hear from you, Peter?
Yes, for me, one takeaway that I would like everyone to hold on to, the fact that additional voluntary contribution should be seen to be more than just saving up. It should rather be seen as um, a means of investing into the future while you are in active service, as well as your retirement. is an investment actually with your future financial needs. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Peter and Gloria. Thank you for those final words that you dropped here for us. I would like to just recap. If you did not take anything today, or you joined us at a time when we had already gone far and talked about the various things, there's so much information that we have let out today. I would like to say that if you did not take anything, just listen to these few things I would mention. We talked about one of the benefits of doing additional voluntary contribution as a reduction in tax liability. It helps you to, to save up as far as tax is concerned. Also, it helps you to augment your fund balance at retirement. And of course, when you want to access some part of your retirement savings account, some part of your pension account for mortgage purposes, what you have contributed as voluntary contribution will come in really handy for that rainy day. And of course, if you see it that building, that house I want to buy, my equity, if I take 25% today, is not enough. The first thing you can start to think of in growing that account, one of the things, it's not the only thing, one of the things you can do is to start doing additional voluntary contribution. Have a target, dream big, set it out there, and look forward to when you can access it, because you know that when it's time to access your 25%, what you have done in AVC will augment what you can take as 25% for as equity for mortgage. All right, so it also helps you to to increase your total balance, like we have talked about. So those are the few things that we have talked about today. I'm just highlighting what I had written down, okay? But I know that some people have written a lot of things, and a lot of questions have been dropped. We have answered them. We would answer them. Those we have not said here, we'll send them to you one-on-one. If there's any reason why you would like to reach out to one of us and have a conversation, please also note that down in the form when you fill it, and we will reach out to you most definitely before the end of this week. So thank you very much for tying in. Thank you so much for coming on board. We like that when we call you again next time, you would please come honor our invitation, because we'll have a lot more in store. Like I said, this is just the first of a series. Thank you so much for joining in, and I wish you a very good day. Gloria, Peter, thank you so much for your effort in making this a success. Thank you so much, everyone.
Well done. Well done to you too, Raina too.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
we'd like to say have a great day and enjoy the rest of the week.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.